Books are a window into someone's mind and soul. They're almost friends. Hello, my inquisitive friends. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my favorite book series, Dresden Files, the 18th book in the series, if you can believe it, called 12 Months. Unlike most Dresden books, where you have various different sorts of things he has to take care of over the course of a book, but it's usually one or two big problems. This one has a bunch of smaller problems throughout entire 12 months. There is the overall problem of getting his brother back, of course, and the big issue of dealing with his crippling grief and depression. Like, just so much depression. As someone who is also dealing with grief as I was reading this, I can tell you, it hits, and it hits hard, like a sack of bricks. It definitely is one of those where you gotta go into it with the right mindset. Some standouts of the story is he gets a new apprentice, which is amazing. I've been waiting for him to get this particular apprentice. I knew he was going to come back at some point, and I'm glad that he finally has an apprentice that he's not going to bone. We get to see he has gargoyles, like actual gargoyles. They're so fun. They take everything literally. They feed off stories almost. It's adorable. They got beef with Bob. Oh, it's so cute. Love everything about the gargoyles. We get, of course, many good speeches from all of your favorites. Michael gives his speech and all that. We get some highlights from Mab being psycho crazy. Like now we really get to see in this book why she is the queen of air and darkness. You get what I'm saying? We also get to see Dresden's leading up to getting married and trying to make the best of a bad situation and all that. I will admit, the vampire chick is starting to grow on me. Didn't think she would ever be like a favorite of mine, but as she's slowly letting her shields down, so to speak, I'm starting to like her a bit more. Granted, that could all be an evil ploy, ooh, but for right now, I'm taking it at face value. Also, love the winter grandmother who shows up. She is always a peach. The few things I didn't like in the story, I didn't like how Thomas dealt with his emotions. Not going to go into too much spoilers, but you cannot create a problem and then be upset when other people solve that problem, especially when the problem you create is so incredibly large. You just can't be fussy about how it's finished. But by the end, I'm glad things were mostly settled. I also didn't like how Dresden's daughter, his spiritual daughter that is, she's kind of shunted off to the side. They don't seem to care about her as much in the story as his main daughter or his human daughter. And I get why it is. They do go into detail that at least for a good 50 years or so, she's going to be more or less a toddler. It's because she's a spirit of intellect and she develops differently. I'll be honest, I kind of don't like that. I really don't like that. I wanted her to sort of grow up on the same track as the human daughter and all that, and them sort of grow up together. But it seems like she's being pushed to the background. And I thought that Harry would have an even stronger connection with her since he did birth her. But I guess this was just one of those where maybe if they ever do a time skip, we'll get to see more of her, but I don't know. Love that Bob gets to have an entire castle to like basically manipulate under his own will. That's amazing. There's just so much standout stuff in this book. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but if you've read the Dresden books up to this point, definitely hop on into it and read this one. If you haven't read the Dresden books yet, might I recommend, first two aren't the best, but kind of just power through them. Once you get to the third, that's when stuff starts to get good. But until next time, my dear friends, I hope to see you next time.